Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rivalz Race Chat. Clinton, Geoffrey, and Adam Ross here. As we are each and every Tuesday, we appreciate you joining us and hanging out. Lots of things going on in the racing world, Adam, and there's no shortage of stories happening. I mean, sometimes we're struggling to fit 10 subjects on the line. Tonight we're up around 14 topics. We've got Garrett Tiemersma is going to – okay, did I say it right? Maybe that's how we start the show.
No, you didn't. But you know what? Let's backtrack that because we'll get to it. Let's and Spencer, you're right. My microphone sounds strange to me now too that you say that, but it's the right one. Brad Evans, Brad and Stephen Evans, 3-9 Productions. We've done a lot of work with them. Clinton, they drove us out of the iRacing business. You and I were streaming iRaces, and they did such a good job of it that we just kind of backed away and said, guys, hey, if you're willing to work with us, we're willing to pay you, because we knew we weren't as good as they were. And Brad Evans passed away from COVID quite suddenly last week. We're heartbroken for Stephen. They had just lost their father just weeks before, and it came along quickly. Brad Evans tested positive for COVID, I believe, last Monday, and he left us last Thursday. Brad Evans, a phenomenal producer. Brad and Stephen Evans, just a great duo. Clinton, you and I we're lucky to have each other for as long as we have. Like, we've been able to disagree and fight, and I describe us as brothers, because if we were friends, we probably would have stormed our different directions years ago. But they actually are brothers, and to do things as close as they do and be as amazing as they are, Brad Evans will be sorely, dearly missed.
Yeah, you shared a post to our group here. I mean, I'll take a minute and try and get through it. It touched on us. Steven's been making some of these emotional posts since Brad passed away a few days ago. I messaged him. I said, we need to see more of this. I mean, it's, even for everybody who knows him, it helps us relate. Today, I'll try and get through this. It says, today I tackled your office, a bit of an emotional roller coaster. Happy memories mixed with some time and thought, and a few tears choked back. You're proud of your streaming video and iRacing setup. Mom even raved about it. I told her it was your own broadcast studio, and you didn't disappoint. He goes on to say, I shut things down and started disassembling your studio. And thinking back to how we started broadcasting for Roger Craig on the Coast to Coast Leagues, and then the G-Force team. We only had a computer tower on life support, a laptop on life support, and a decent internet connection. Then came the opportunity to work for Clinton and Adam, and the game completely changed for our new side hustle. They gave us as much work as we could handle and helped us create new customers, which is touching for us to be in this. Obviously these emotional messages. Your production polish and their belief in our broadcast helped us raise enough funds to build fancy new machines, and now we could do fancy NASCAR graphics and timing and the ticking score replays and slow-mo replays. They gave us enough platform to really shine enough that it caught the attention of the NASCAR Pinty Series and TSN in Canada. Your baby was viewed all over Canada's version of ESPN. And I remember how proud you were of that. Well, it's tough. It all came flooding back while I took it apart, cleaned it, and tucked away. He just goes on to say, how amazing it was for those guys. Adam, I got a brother who's in racing. We play different roles. I cannot imagine what Steven's going through. I don't know what more to say other than I've invited Steven, obviously, to come on as you have. I said anytime you want to come on and be a part of the program, we'd love to have you. Let's look at some of the sights and sounds. Brad Evans produced all the images. His brother Steven calling the action. As Steven remembers Brad and Stu. Let's listen to some of their work, guys.
Going to lead the pack. Inside of row number 3. Got to be nose to tail here, coming back to the restart. Restart is back underway. And we are racing to turn number 1, Will LaRue out front. Be sure to subscribe to our channel on YouTube as we get a look here. And, Savard, boy, as leaders coming down pit lane, down pit road. And that's interesting because, Brad, we've now got 18 laps to go. And I got to tell you, I just think this is too long for these guys to try and stretch it.
Well, I think there's a couple things you can do. Obviously, racing in the draft is going to help save fuel. These guys are going to be in the back of the pack now. They're going to be able to do that. As well as, I would assume a lot of these drivers have buttons and switches set up so they can actually shut the car off like they do at Daytona to actually save fuel. Because I know that's one of the strategies I employ when I race at Daytona and Talladega, is shutting the car off and coasting, and even other tracks other than Daytona.
As we work the final lap through 3 and 4. The 24 of Michael Ligori trying to make a move, but Claude Furlan out front, gonna try and block that run on the outside. Here comes Ligori down to the bottom, drag race to the line, and it's Furlan! And everybody wrecks here at the checkered flag.
Stage break as well tonight. That will be upcoming. And yellow lights are back on almost immediately.
And boy, I'll tell you what, Steven, that is a huge break for some of these guys. At least one, the first guy a lap down here, looks like might be Martin Davio or Callum McNichol. They'll get the wave around on this, but I'm not sure if everybody else will get the wave around on this if the leaders don't pit or not, but could be a sign of things to come, maybe.
So whether it was iRacing or racing at the Land of Legends Speedway down in New York, they just did a phenomenal job. Steven does a phenomenal job. Brad did a phenomenal job. And again, 31 years old, taken far too soon.
For sure. Steve, man, you know where we are. That's about all we can say about that. Continuing on the same vein, Adam, some of our friends at Burger Barn, they're also with heavy hearts these weeks. They put up a post this week. Hi, Burger Barn friends and family. We apologize for being offline and unreachable through our Facebook page. Many of you already know that we tragically lost our longtime manager, Joni Hill. She's not only part of our social media contact, but an integral part of every aspect of our operation over this past decade. Joni loved Burger Barn, and we all loved her. She'll be greatly missed. Thank you for all your patience as we move forward. So, wow, man, couple of tough weeks in our racing family, Adam, and send our hearts and our thoughts out to everybody who's touched by those situations, for sure.
Yeah, tough times. And, you know, I appreciated so much more, Clinton, the time that we got to spend at the racetrack this year with our family. And I mean our racing family. Last year was so broken. It was strange. This year we're starting to get closer to normal where people could come together and you know, we are a big family. You take for granted what you have until you don't have it for a little while. So hopefully we get closer and closer to getting back to normal and enjoying our family. And hopefully we stop losing family members. For
sure. I think it's time we turn 5 over, Adam, as you got busted up saying. And let's move on to some fun stuff here. Bigger than the big leagues. This came out. This is something we talked about in the past. It's something around many campfires late at night I tried to recite, couldn't find it, and it came back across the feed yesterday. Obviously, these numbers are flexing every day, but 769 dirt tracks in the USA. There are more than 80,000 drivers that race on dirt before nearly 1.3 million fans every weekend from February to November. That represents 52 million dirt track tickets a year, more than NASCAR, NBA, NFL, and NHL combined. And that's only one half of our sport, Adam, because the pavement side is equally or more popular in North America as well. So, some pretty big stats there when you look at our sport. You know, it's fragmented into smaller groups, but when we all pull together, pretty major league.
And it doesn't happen very often. We don't pull together very often, which is why motorsports doesn't have, at the grassroots level, Lucas Oil would be the closest thing I can think of as an example, Clinton, of a company that is invested at various levels of motorsports, various different genres of motorsports, from drag racing to circle track racing, dirt, pavement. But not many other corporations have done that because the sport is still so segregated. One track from another track, one genre from another genre. I haven't been to a drag race in 30 years, 25 years, right? So even those among us in the industry aren't all going to these same events. So if anyone is able to be that glue to tie things together, they're going to really have magic in a bottle. But I will say this, Corey Turner obviously races for Burger Barn. He came to watch Connor play football last week, so I got to stand with Corey. And it's nice to be able to just stand around and talk racing for a long time, but while watching a football game, because you're not affected by racing action or you're not distracted. You just shoot the breeze. And it's really actually cool to see other perspectives over the course of an hour-long conversation. Open my eyes to a few things.
Certainly does. You know, all the tracks got together. We put in for a big, not a survey, what am I saying? A case study. So we're excited to get the results back for that. And we'll be able to use those demographics to really start pushing things to some of the bigger companies around. I mean, Oshweekend and what we've been doing, we've been working with a lot of those bigger companies for the last few years. It's certainly an art, Adam, to figure out how you can get into the door, what to talk about, what to ask for. I mean, we had some fairly high-level meetings we're not ready to talk about yet this week, but you and I were there. Geez, all the days run together yesterday. And, you know, it's just, it can be tough to break down those barriers. But if you get working at it, you can make it work. Here's another topic that got sent to us, and you're always welcome to send us topics. This came to us from our buddy Kyle Tomaski not too long ago. He sent us in this and said, hey, guys, starting a new job and passing a physical, eyes, hearing, blood pressure is required before starting to make money. For someone who drives race cars for a living and has their only source of income, do you think the tracks, bracket, their place of income, should be required to do physicals before being allowed to operate a piece of machinery like a race car? Adam, at what point do we need to bring that in or not bring that in? Obviously, if you're racing NASCAR at certain levels, you need to pass a physical. You know, a lot of the lower classes don't ask for that. What's your thoughts on
it? To race karts in Canada, I always had to I didn't always, but starting in the early 90s, you had to have a full physical. And you had to submit that to get your racing license. What do I think? I don't think it applies because racing isn't something that you qualify for, even though we have qualifying at every event. If you can afford to buy a race car and show up at the track with that car, I can't think of a situation where you wouldn't be allowed to try to compete. It's just the way it's always been. It's not like professional baseball, which has a union. You've got the minor leagues, the major leagues, everything kind of works up through that funnel. So everyone, I'd have to see what the player agreements are with the unions and that, but everyone is subjected to the same rules and conduct and drug policies, things like that. Racing has never been like that. So as much as I think you need people to be responsible for themselves, so I think it would be a good thing, but I wouldn't be for it at the racetrack.
Yeah, it becomes that tough situation because you obviously don't want anything bad to happen, but you also don't want to be over policing it to the point that you're, you know, turning everybody away. And what I mean by that, obviously you want to get the bad seeds out, but you don't want to turn away a lot of good potential customers, drivers, participants who just aren't going to jump through the hoops in order to make it happen. Interesting concept. Feel free to keep commenting about it in the comments, and we'll talk about that too. Here's another thing. A couple of us, Adam, do you know what a boomer is? Are we a boomers yet? My kids would say we are.
I don't even know what we fit into.
Well, we're not technically because we're not baby boomers. We would be Gen Xers, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Well, let's not pretend you and I are.
I was gonna say, don't even start pretending we're that far into the categories, buddy. We're a couple years apart. We grew up on the same stuff. So, boomer is somebody who's a little bit older. I'm just kidding around. But you asked a boomer question this week in our chat, Adam. You said, I keep seeing this racers tap in. Show the screenshot, Spencer. It's an Instagram thing. Can you fill two boomers in? And I'll even admit to me and Adam what this is all about. What is tapping in? Fill us in comments. Feel free to comment on your own. Let us know what it means, what you do. It says racers tap in, add yours. I'm not that savvy enough on Instagram. And I'm very glad you asked this question and I didn't.
No, and I'm fine with that because you see a number of racers doing it. I can only imagine it's a way to get mass followers. Like you're hoping that everyone. It's a call. So to put it into racing terms and marketing terms, because we like talking about marketing and sponsorship, things of that nature. It's a call to action. So instead of posting, here's what I had for lunch yesterday, or it's a call to action to physically do something, and hopefully it helps those racers grow their numbers. I think that's what it's for, but I don't really know, and that's what concerned me was the fact I'm so old, I'm so out of touch, and the day is going to come, Clinton, where we just have to step aside and let the next generation go.
If you're
We're not there yet.
I must be in big trouble.
We'll get there. We are out of this touch for now, but the day will come.
So, Adam, we spent years training racers and race teams not to say the word sponsors, to use marketing partner. Well, I got to spend some time with someone who can't be called anything but a sponsor, and that's John Brush at Corepack Merchandising. John is a super fan, gives money to the races, and he doesn't really have a product that we can market for him because he's all corporate, does lots of stuff, and it'd be very it's not impossible, but it'd be very unlikely for another corporation to see what he does through us.
Race fans and racers are not his customers.
Correct.
Like Quick Wick is the opposite. Quick Wick has a product that everybody can relate to who's ever spent a night at the races or stayed overnight at the races. Corepack, like you say, absolute opposite.
Yeah, so I got asked to come to a meeting last week and talk about a new product that's coming on the market, and it's going to be a cool automotive product, and they want to get involved in racing. So we went for a meeting with them in Richmond Hill at Corepack's office, and we got to see some of the stuff that Corepack did. I got a tour, and I had to get some pictures to show people because a lot of race fans here, whether you're from Oswego and the Super Modifieds, he's a big supporter down there. Huge supporter of Jessica Zemkin, Stuart Friesen. The list goes on and on of where we've seen the Corepack name. It was the Corepack Sprints, and Arch Weekend still is the Cool Kids Corepack Sprints. John was a big player in the past 2 seasons on the dirt in getting the races going. He supported every single thing he was asked to and gave it to the tune of almost $20,000 this year.
And beyond that, he didn't give to everything he was asked to give to. He came to you and he says, what can I do? Where can I support? Where could my money be best spent to help racers go out there and race? He's such an amazing person.
Well, he doesn't give to everybody, that's for sure. But the things John believes in and the things he wants to participate in, like you're right, he came to us and said, hey, how can I help the sprints? How can I help out this? And so we worked it. We helped John spend some money. So we're going to show you how John makes that income that he so generously gives back. Here's some of the stuff that John does. So what they are is they work with a lot of the major companies. You can see here it's Crayola, Bic, and Papermate. And they make these dump bins that you'd see at your big box stores. And, all of these displays John creates for Mobil 1 or Summer Hit. French is, do you see the mustard and that and ketchup in the background? What they do is they ship all the product to Corepack here, and in the back, John creates these stand-ups, produces all the product in packaging, and when they get to the store, they are ready to go, set up in the displays. So if it's a 200 pack of crayons in the display or, the Cholula hot sauce here we're looking at, John will provide all of that. And when they get to the store, that sets up exactly like that. Everything from locks to food products. So I said, John, this is amazing to see all the stuff you guys do here from some of the large corporations, from Lindor Chocolate to Tim Hortons, right on through it. So it was just great to be able to show some of the race fans what Corepack is and, what they do. And it was an interesting behind-the-scenes look at him, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, we were at his office years ago. It was just fascinating to see what he does and the kind of work that he does. And that's a nasty commute. Well, he's up in Markham, isn't he?
I thought it was Richmond Hill. Somewhere up there north of Toronto. Mm-hmm. North of Toronto, east of the 400. So, all right, moving on from there. Brian's Racing Auction still taking consignment items for the Brian's Racing Auction. You can email Joel at briansfarm.com. That's Brian with a Y, and make sure you get in there. And there it is on the screen. Lots of great items still coming in. It's going to happen in January. If you have solid new old stock, any items that aren't junk that you want to get rid of in your racing stable. Joel wants to hear from you, and make sure you get signed up. Adam, anything you want to add to that?
No, just that we're getting a lot of interest. People are curious about it, and we've seen some of the documentation that's coming through that's going to make it just seem more legitimate. I mean, I'm excited. I'm honored that we were asked to be a part of this, and I think it'll be I hope it's something that grows over the years and becomes a bigger and bigger deal all the time.
Agreed. Spencer, did I send you the Merrittville Christmas pics? Do you have some, or do you need me to find some? I just noticed that and realized okay, he's got them. Good. Kawartha Speedway, not looking too good, Adam. Someone shared pictures of this on social. We picked it up, and it looked pretty bad, Adam. You know, you were a guy who spent probably a lot more time there. It just looks derelict. Nobody's there. Obviously, the temporary fencing is blown down onto the back straightaway there. And go back to the last pick, Spencer, can you? Let's just explain that. For somebody who's maybe never been to Kawartha, what they're seeing there, it's a pavement track inside a horse track.
Yes. And again, I would compare it a lot to Jacasa because it was an amazing racing surface. Like, just produced some fantastic racing, but it never captured that atmosphere because you were very removed from the fans. Like, you were either in the glassed-in grandstands way far away from the action, or you were in temporary grandstands that were sporadically put around the racetrack, or you were standing along the fence. So it was an unusual layout that way, and I think it really goes to show you have to put so much thought into the fan experience. Like, if you want to make a pristine racetrack and really knock it out of the park, you've got to be thinking fan experience. Delaware Speedway, Sunset Speedway, the dirt tracks have it going, Humberstone, Merrittville, Oshwegan, to where the fans can feel like they're right in the action.
But, I mean, there's so much potential in that place, Adam. Like you said, the surface was big, wide, and fast, gave some great action. It did have some hospitality, but it was a little too far removed for the excitement level you'd want in a situation like that. But the idea of being able to have a drive-in all the way around like you do at a place like Orange County, where you could let your cars drive up on the horse track and people can sit in their own cars and tailgate. Like, I'm with you. I think, you know, the promotions never really got to where they needed to be for it to take off and live up to its full potential. And now it sits there just wasting away. Another track looks like it's going down. And I know a lot of the fans may think, oh, well, the other tracks may be excited about that. It's going to make them stronger. No. I mean, that was my immature attitude a few years ago. Someone like Mark Rinaldi, you know, started drilling into my head. Anytime we lose a racetrack, it's bad. The fans from that area, you're going to lose them. They're going to find other things to do, and the sport takes a hit. So, you know, really want to just keep things going. So hopefully someone can take the reins and at least get a few races in at Kawartha and give them reason to keep the track in order.
Yeah, it'd be a tall order.
Moving on. Well, one that we thought was a super tall order, way taller than Kawartha, is North Wilkesboro. Adam, you shared this one not too recently. You know, there's been a lot of money put in by the Wilkesboro and by the state down there, and they are going to allow a lot of capital improvements and bring it back. Show the screenshot Spencer we sent. North Wilkesboro Speedway set to return from the grave. And as you know, Adam, they started with iRacing. They cleaned up last year to get it scanned for iRacing. There's Dale Jr., who was a big player in that, and I believe that's Marcus Smith with him. Excuse me. And here it is. The allocation toward North Wilkesboro provides the starting capital needed to rebuild the infrastructure of the historic facility. With state budget amounts now finalized, we can zero in on project priorities and determine work schedules. The goal will be to modernize the property so it can again host racing, special events again in the future. Pretty neat.
Yeah, that's exciting. You know, they did bring it back years ago for a late model special, and it was a big deal, a high-paying race, and then it kind of went dormant again for a while. So hopefully we'll see what comes of it, Clinton. And I think, I say this week in and week out, but I think now is the time for grassroots racing to shine. Elevate grassroots racing. Like, it's already a huge deal to us. World of Outlaws are paying bigger money next year. All-Star Sprints are paying bigger money next year. There's a lot of big money races out there. There's a lot of series starting to up their game. People are starting to realize the value of streaming compared to the uber expensive costs of traditional broadcasting. I think we're in a sweet spot where if you're watching our program, you're part of the group that's really going to benefit from some of the awesome shows. And we're seeing it already with people like Brett Deo and the money shows that he puts on. Not only does he take a tour down to Louisiana, but you can watch every race live from home. So only so many people can travel like that, but you can still take part. You can still be engaged in the whole series. I think times are good.
Well, part of the reason Brett can do that with, as you've seen, if you watch, there were no fans in the stands, was because of that flow streaming contract that you wouldn't be able to do any time previously. Maryville Speedway giving back to the community, Adam. They had a Christmas drive this weekend. Some pics came out there. Good to see the Spees family always doing what they can. It was well attended. A lot of the drivers participated, so kudos to everybody at Maryville for giving back to the community, for those that donated prizes or presents, I should say, and just showing that racers have a heart. Good job.
You said it all. Great job by Don Spees and the crew down there. And nice to see some of the work that he's doing and that it's paying off. He's put in a lot of effort to that place the last couple of years. And nothing to do with the racing. Just ways to pick up, ways to make it a hot spot for the area with the pizza, the ice cream. So good for Don.
Yeah, ice cream was a big hit this summer. I mean, if you drove up there on a Monday, Adam, it looked like a super busy Saturday. He had hot rod cruises there. A good spot. And, a lot of the other places they have cruise nights, they're temporary, right? So you're either taking over a Tim Hortons, which is this place. It's a perfect setup to have everybody hang out there as late as you want. We were talking, I told me you should be showing races on a big screen, having drive-in movies in the parking lot when you got all of them there. Brett pays RJ and the Squirrel. Back to what you just mentioned. We were talking about Brett Deo. Moving on. Show the screenshot, Adam, Spencer. So this would have been of Brett Deo, $105,000 distributed at Vernon Downs Casino, honoring competitors from the Fauna, Utica, Rome Speedways, and I think it was the Thrill on the Thruway series that they had. Adam, so there's your co-champions, Rocky Warner and Ronnie Johnson. And Adam, what do you typically do if you have a tie in the point standings? How do you pay that out?
You add first place plus second place divided by 2. So if it pays $100,000 to win and $50,000 for second, and you have a tie, each person's going to get $75,000.
Okay, so if it pays $10,000 and $5,000, each guy gets $7,500. Well, Brett Deo
traditionally,
they had a tie, and Brett Deo paid them both $10,000, which was super cool by Brett Deo to step up and honor both champions, not splitting first and second and doing the average deal, stepping up, paying them both. I thought that was super cool. That's only going to add to the mystique of Brett Deo and all the drivers who think about whether they want to race in his series or not.
And the funny thing is, there's 2 drivers who aren't going anywhere, right? Rocky Warner and Ronnie Johnson are both going to race at Fonda next year. So it's not even bribe money. It's just, hey, this is the right thing to do. I'm going to do good by the racers. So he is doing amazing things, Clint. And I would love to see the books. I would love to see the formula that he uses to make this all happen. It's pretty amazing what he's put together.
Yeah, he ain't showing you shit, buddy. All right.
No.
Let's move on. As we see Jibs Action Sports on the screen, show that screenshot, Spencer. Jibs Action Sports, big sale going on at jibsactionsports.com. It's Black Friday, Cyber Monday, starting now. So get over there and get some great deals for Christmas for the action sporter in your life. Make sure you check it out, jibsactionsports.com. Some great deals to be had starting right now. We want to make sure we mention that. Jumping back, Adam, to Kawartha, Doug Erskine says, why not go back and race the cars on the horse track just like Syracuse?
So, Sarah, a cinder horse track and the Moody Mile are very different surfaces. Like there was a good bit of clay in the Moody Mile. At Kawartha Downs, that is all cinder. Like it would be a tornado of it'll be a tornado of dust. But having said that, take a place like Flamborough Downs, I think that is more traditional dirt. I'm not even sure. I don't care. Let's race on anything.
Have you ever been to Hanover, Ontario? You know when you drive right in there and they have the horse track right in the center of town? Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh,
Yep.
every time I drive through there on my way to Sauble, I fantasize so much about taking over downtown Hanover, having a big dirt track event right there under the lights. It'd be so freaking cool. If you guys know where Hanover, Ontario is, and you know what I'm talking about, and you're a dirt track fan, you get it. The rest of you have to wait.
Trois-Rivières, Quebec. You've got to see it. Like you just until you stand in the middle of it and think, "Wow, I'm in the middle of this town, and I'm at the racetrack." And there's the Hippodrome, which is the horse track, the Olympic swimming pool. It's just fantastic.
Can't wait to check it out. Larson gets the check already, Adam, and this is something you sent in. You said, "Am I all right to be offended by this?" So this writer's basically saying that. I said, "Yeah,
you posted it.
Did I? Okay.
You sent it to the chat, and I look, and it didn't piss me off, but it's a crock of shit. Right? It's just one has nothing to do with the other. In fact, it detracts from the other. So the headline, did Tony Stewart just hand NASCAR champion Kyle Larson $1 million to return to Eldora? No, he didn't. So that's the dumb thing. Take Kyle Larson out of the equation. Tony Stewart would have done it anyhow. $1 million to win dirt late model race, which has been done before at Eldora Speedway. They didn't give a rat's ass. You could bring the whole NASCAR Cup Series starting grid and one would qualify, maybe two for this race. I wish they would bring the whole NASCAR starting grid because you know what? They wouldn't put one extra paying fan in the grandstands if they did. And none of them would qualify because they're going to pack the place. The racing is going to be phenomenal. And the talent is going to be so good that most Cup drivers just wouldn't even hope. Like they couldn't hold a candle to these dirt late model racers.
I'll give you that, except how can you say it wouldn't sell one more ticket? Of course it's going to sell.
Because they're already – no, it's already sold out. That's my point. This event will sell out with no Cup stars, no gimmicks, no money added. It will sell out. No more tickets available. It's just like the Chili Bowl.
I was going to say same message they were given at Tony and Leah Pruitt's wedding this past weekend. Tony Stewart got married to Leah Pruitt, the drag racer, so congrats to them. Not like they're actually listening to what we have to say over here. Spencer, go back to those two screenshots.
So the gist of this story.
I want to show something though, Adam. So show the two screenshots there, Spencer. So show the other one. Go back one more. So this was the headline that they started this. Did Tony Stewart just hand NASCAR champion $1 million to return to Eldora? Now flip it, Spencer. I think this should have been the headline, Adam. Tony Stewart is bringing back the Eldora Million, right? And then down in the end, it might have been able to reference Larson. But to me, it's clickbait. When they start with that, it's just it's not right.
It's unnecessary clickbait. That's what I'm saying. It's not like they're going to Bristol and they have to sell 100 and some thousand tickets. They're going to Eldora Speedway. So what'll they have? 15,000 people? Phenomenal, like a phenomenal short track crowd. But that's the story. He's bringing back the $1 million to win late model race. Why speculate on who he might be giving it to? I mean, it's just.
And
just for clickbait, like you say.
I think it's also insulting to the late model superstars that drive those cars every week to just assume that Kyle Larson's going to come in and spank them. I mean, Kyle Larson's had some amazing 2 years, obviously, so it's not undoubtable. But I think it's insulting those guys, and as a promoter, I would never be happy if that's how they led it. It just doesn't make sense.
I don't know that writer. What is it, John Moriello? I don't know who he is, so I can't really speak to that. But they've jumped the Kyle Larson shark there.
Well, I just realized we flew through all our topics that soon. Garrett, okay, maybe you can take a few minutes to educate me how to say it.
Why don't you listen to him say it? Tiemersma.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to write that down. Tiemersma.
He's just no, don't write it down. Just he's logging out Tiemersma.
Tiemersma.
He's gonna He's going to come on and correct us in just a moment. Spencer, let us know when he's ready, and we'll.
Poor guy's trying to digest his dinner, and we're rushing him here. But let's talk
I want him to be
about why we have Garrett on, Adam. It started these discussions a few months ago.
We've wanted to get Garrett involved more in the broadcast since the summertime, because Garrett is a very willing participant, right? He's a driver who gets it. His social media is on point, wants to take advantage of the FaceTime and get out there. So in talking about what we could do through this off season, we're going to lead into the feature, which is starting tonight. But I want people to understand, Clinton, I couldn't do what he is doing, because it would require me to go back and watch something I've done and edit it. And I don't watch what we do. I say it, it's gone, move on to the next. You do. Like the work that he's put into it, and we're going to talk to him about it, but I wonder if he realizes how freaking challenging it is, because he's done a good job.
Yeah, he's done a great job on the track and behind the mic with us, too, when we've got to interview him. So we'll get ready to bring him in now. Garrett, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys, you got me? My microphone's on?
Yeah. But what we want you
Thanks
to
for
do,
having me
please. I would appreciate you being here. Please introduce yourself for the fans.
All right, guys. Well, I've been on here before, and my name is Garrett Tiemersma. I am a super stock driver.
Stop right there. Did you say Jarrett?
Garrett.
I heard.
No. Okay.
I swear you said Jarrett, and it was about to blow my mind right out the top of my skull.
I thought you were going to correct him about how he pronounced his own name, like you do everybody else.
You know what?
No, I wanted you to hear it.
If I started changing my name again, I don't know if anyone would take me seriously. No, but I'm a quick super stock series driver, and I've been running oval races, oval tracks for the last 6 or 7 years. But over the last year with the quick series, it's just become a big thing, and it's really taken on a whole new life of its own, especially with you guys and G-Force coming on.
It's been really
Garrett,
good.
you embody being a race car driver, and some people do. Some people just do it. Other people, they sort of get it. Like you fix your hair before driver introductions to go out there and look the part. You look presentable, and not everyone does. Why is that part of the sport important to you? Like, what about that appeals to you?
You know what? Maybe it comes from my education and spending some time in a high school where looking good was a thing, but I never really put effort into it. And then when I realized that the more effort you put into yourself, the more available you are or marketable you are, and just the more professional you come across. I took it seriously to put effort into, just coming across as a looking professional, putting exactly, fixing the hair in front of the interview, because you know what, as much as it is funny, it's just an interview and we're live. It doesn't really matter how we look. It's not why we're there. We're there to watch racing, but it's a heck of a lot easier to listen to me if you're not looking at me thinking, man, what's that grease stain on his forehead? It's just easier to listen to me, and all of a sudden I'm able to get my point across, and it's just it's all about looking the part. And you're right. If there's any future for me in racing, I would like to have a future for me in racing. So it's important to look the part. You don't see NASCAR drivers showing up with their flannel and their flip-flops to the racetrack. They show up and half of them are wearing a suit. They are there looking the part.
Garrett, you ask and you talk about hopefully there's a future in this for you. What would your future, look like if you can plan it out on paper and make it happen?
I don't know, man. I've been thinking a lot over this winter because I had a bit of a shoulder injury in the fall, and it's really kind of hurt me lately, and I think I'm going to end up having surgery on it. It's going to put me in sidelines, but right now, the long-term look, I don't need to go and travel the world to go racing. I don't don't have a desire to do that. I enjoy just spending the weekends with my friends and my close family. But I don't know. I think I'd like to try that NASCAR Pinty Series one day. I mean, I'm 22. That's a long way out for my financial situation. But I would like to find myself in the Pinty Series one day. You know, this year I went out racing to the road course at Mosport with some of my road racing friends and some of my crew guys, and you know what? They kind of got me a little bit hooked on it, intrigued. I got to watch some endurance races in the Lucky Dog Canada Endurance Series, and you know what? I could definitely take the NASCAR Pinty ride, Pinty's out around the road courses. I think it'd be fun to travel around Canada. And I do like the fact that it's 50-50 oval and 50-50 road course, because there is still a part of me. I don't want to go and leave oval. I still do want to run oval. It's enjoyable, but I think I just like to try a couple different things. And for now, I want to keep this super stock going. I don't want to leave the Quick Series until I'm a champion. So I do have to win one of those before I can think about moving on.
That's a tall order with the competition as stiff as it is.
Yeah.
So that sort of leads us to the project that you're working on with us. So we did not make this easy for you, Garrett. We talked about, hey, what can we build? What can we do to get you on the show? Well, I had to add something to the programming. And I think what you've come up with really does. So you're giving us a behind the scenes look at what goes on at your shop, the kind of work. And I love the first, what do we call it? It's not an episode, Clint. What do we call it?
Webisode.
Installment? Okay, the first webisode.
The first vlog. Let's call it the first vlog.
There you go. The first vlog. You're alone in your shop. Like, it's not this is going to open people's eyes to the sport of racing, where there's a lot of alone time. Like, not even crew is there to work with you as you start to pull this race car apart. I think people are going to see things about the sport that they haven't seen before. Clinton, what are your thoughts from that angle?
No, I think for the first crack at it, it's good. And this is exactly what we always want drivers to give us an inside look at the preparation. And me, as a guy who's seen a million laps on a million tracks, this is the stuff that intrigues me the most. Show me the behind the scenes. Show me what it takes to get there. Show me you fighting the flat tire on the side of the highway on your way there. We've always said if we just went in circles, we'd be boring as heck. So it's all the color that goes with it that really adds to this sport. And, it's not always about on track.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I'm looking forward to this off season. I mean, that first vlog was a little bit rough. I still have to work out some technical details. As soon as I got inside and I looked at the footage, I realized I had recorded in the wrong orientation, and went, well, I don't know if it's usable, but we'll put it together still. And we'll get better. But I don't know. I'm going to go home this weekend and hopefully maybe takes the engine out or put some more effort into my front suspension. So we'll hopefully get some more videotaping done this weekend as well.
No, that's awesome. And as we say, people are going to get an inside look at the kind of things that you have to do. And I don't want to give anything away of what you're doing, but some of it does have time lapse in it because it's hours and hours and hours of effort.
Yes.
So every race team is different. Some of them go straight to work on their equipment as soon as the season ends. Some of them just throw a cover on it or not and tackle it once the snow melts in the off season. What's the Tiemersma family like? Because the family has been racing for a long, long time. Is it a year-round project, or is there times do you take any time off in the winter?
It kind of depends on the finish of the race season. Typically, I found my dad and myself mainly we'll take about 2 or 3 weeks off right at the end of the year. Maybe we'll just spend a couple hours taking the body off or taking all the tires off of the rims just to get that out of the way so we can throw away the old stuff and get the new stuff ready. But we do like to take some time off because I am a roofer. So is our family. I mean, it's kind of our busy time throughout the summer for work. And on top of the race season on the weekends, typically throughout the summer, I get 3 or 4 days off over the course of a month and a half. So when it comes to the end of the race season, I just like to put the car up in jack stands and leave it for a couple of weeks before I go to take it apart. And as you'll see in this vlog, that was really one of the first days that I got to tearing apart the car. And I think that was just under a month ago or so. But I mean, throughout the winter, we'll take it down to the bare chassis and to the bare frame. I mean, that's how we find all the issues and our problems, and how we can redesign our front end just a little bit better and maybe find that little bit of extra cornering speed. And it also just gives us a good look at everything on the chassis to make sure nothing is cracked or twisted, and just hell, even do some paint touch-ups on the frame, right?
Awesome. Well, I think, Adam, no better time than to jump into Garrett's first vlog here with us on G-Force. Anything that you want to add, Adam, before we wrap up the program?
Nothing much.
Not for me.
Yeah, nothing much for me either. Just take it easy on the editing. It's my first time. I took a high school class for video production, but it's been quite a while since I've been out of practice. So hopefully throughout the winter, these videos get better and better.
No, we thank you for opening your shop to us. We thank you for the effort you've put into this. And folks, for our Burger Barn video of the week, we introduce to you once again Garrett Tiemersma.
Introducing day one of the Tiemersma Motorsports Superstock build. Well, this is officially the first vlog slash video, and I'm just alone in the shop today, but we're looking to clean the car a little bit and hopefully get the rear end out. We got lots of work to do, lots of things to do. Hopefully this winter, some of these videos get better and better. This is just gonna be me playing around with my phone, and you know what? You're gonna get to see some of the behind the scenes of well, we were a really good car last year, so you're gonna get to see the behind the scenes of a Superstock team from the Quick series. I know everybody likes to keep their secrets and pretend like they're all doing something special, but you're gonna see the nitty gritty behind the scenes stuff here, and we're gonna show you it all. So let's get started. All right, so the car, most of the car at least, is clean enough that I won't hate myself when I work on it. I mean, most of it's all ready to go. So now I think the next step for us is finally to start taking it apart, because I'm not really gonna be able to clean everything until I get everything out, like the engine and the rear end. So the engine's gonna stay in for now. Yeah, the engine's gotta stay in because I'm not quite sure what we're doing with it yet. And I'm assuming we'll take it out just to take the front end suspension and maybe play around with some geometry and play around with some different theories. But for now, the thing that's got to come out is this beat up rear end that is just giving me more trouble than anything with these drive shafts that we keep breaking. How about that? You know, I've never in my life seen a drive shaft break like this. I mean, for it to twist in half and for the transmission to have a hole in the side of it right here, I've never ever seen something happen like that. And then we broke 3 or 4 of them this year, so we got some work to do this winter, but for now, let's just start taking out the rear end. And just like that, we've got a free hanging rear end. All the suspension's out, took the springs out on both sides, shock, springs, all the mounting positions. Now it's time to drop the rear end, pull it out, and make this just a frame. We'll take it out and then we'll see if it's straight and make some improvements over the winter. Maybe take it apart, and also gonna have to repair that. That's what you call getting naggied. We'll see Carson out there next year. All right, we've got the rear end out, the suspension's out, everything's out of the rear end. It's mostly clean. Now we have to go through and make sure everything's straight. We're gonna take all the brake rotors off. We're gonna take the hubs off, take the rear end out, look at all our gears, make sure everything's straight. You know, I think it was pretty successful today. It was a pretty fun first try with these new videos. It was something new, and I think this will be successful if we keep it up. I mean, we'll see how the video comes out. What else I want to show you guys, because I think it's going to be real fun to show the car build this year with everything that we do and how it ends up putting the trophies on the shelf. Because it's a lot more than just showing up and turning left. We've got an entire winter of using tape measures and strings to make sure everything is straight. We're gonna have to do some new front end geometry because I don't like finishing second anymore. But that's all for now from Tiemersma Motorsports. And this is Garrett signing off. We'll see you next time.
Awesome. I love it. Good job. Garrett, what's the deal with you and Nagy? We got to ask that.
You know what? That's a little bit of a joke between me and him. You might see us do a little bit of a victory lane fist fight next year. We've been joking about it. It's just been a little bit of back and forth banter on social media. Me and him, we're good friends. We were just out on Saturday night actually at the go-kart track, and you know what? I certainly got naggied and put into the wall pretty hard on Saturday night too.
I've been there. I have experienced that myself. So
it's been a blast with him. And you know what? I love racing with Carson. And we were talking about this too on the weekend because it's hard to be friends with your competitors. And that's what we both like about the super stocks. Both of us can leave what happens on the racetrack and still be friends afterwards. And I think me and him have probably grown closer throughout the year because of that, and because of the fact that we joke about running each other into the grass.
If you don't appreciate your competition right now, you will. As you get older, you'll look back, and the people that made you the craziest, made you the angriest, they're the ones that you're going to look back on and say, man, those were some good times.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right on, Garrett. Thanks. How often do you think you'll be putting these out?
I don't know yet. I'm going to have to see. I mean, my garage right now and the car is an hour away from where I live. So I'm typically only going up on the weekends to really work on it. So hopefully, I'm hoping one every other week. I think that's doable for myself. And maybe throughout January and the holiday season, you'll see some more because I'll be home for a while and off from school. So hopefully we can maybe bang out a couple of videos throughout the Christmas break.
Garrett, thanks so much for doing that. I look forward to seeing them, and I hope people realize the amount of effort that's gone into that, and participate in the comments. Let Garrett know what you want to see. If there's something that you're specifically curious about, let him know. Maybe he'll film some of that and show you behind the curtain.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? The more content and more ideas that people post online, the more ideas I can have to show you. I mean, I can show you guys what I think is interesting, but what I think is interesting isn't always what is interesting to fans. And quite often fans want to see, what's under the body, but they don't understand what's happening. So just if you guys want to see anything specific, let me know and I'll let you know if I can let you see it.
Right on, Garrett. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again tonight, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Have a good night. Young talent, Clint. Hey, I mean what I said about eventually you're going to look back with a different admiration, whether it's Lane Zardo that he butts heads with right now and can't stand. We get the luxurious position of looking at it from a distance. So how many times, Clinton, have we been friendly with people on two very different sides of a rivalry just because we see the fun of the rivalry? Like in the middle of it, they're furious. But from our angle, we're saying, man, this is fantastic. This is gold.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I think Garrett has a great future ahead of him. This is a great way to build fans, to show them the inside. And I'm sure there'll be a lot more people cheering for that 17 car next year when he's out there, by doing more stuff like this. So good on you. We appreciate you participating, Garrett. And he's going to be a good addition to what we do here on Tuesday nights as we bring fans a little bit closer to the action in the offseason. That pretty much wraps up an hour. I want to thank Spencer for all he does for us weekly as usual. Adam, a lot more stories coming down the pipe. We'll have a lot more items to talk about next week. We appreciate it. And, of course, if you guys have anything you want us to discuss, feel free to send us a message and reach out to us. Most of you, if you're watching, know how to find us.
I should let you know, Clinton. So, yeah, we're going away from the 13th to the 27th. So I don't know if you're going to have to find a fill-in there for those nights. I'm sure you'll take the week before Christmas off, maybe. But I'm getting away.
And we'll take some time off. We'll take some time off at Christmas.
Shutting off the world.
But I booked at the same resort you guys are. So we'll be there on vacation with you.
At the same time?
Yep.
Perfect. Trust me, I think I'll enjoy you much more if I'm drunk.
I definitely. Mutual. But I'm not going anywhere near you on your vacation. I need a vacation away from Adam Ross.
I understand. I think I'm over it now. I think I'm good. I think, we had our we spent some time not talking all the time, and now I need more Clinton back in my life. So I think for the off season, I'll start making the phone calls. What is it I say? What are you doing? Every time he answers, and
yeah,
it pisses you off. Like,
and I said, none of your goddamn business.
You're always making calls or going through what is it? What is it you always say? Paperwork. Never known anyone do so much paperwork in my whole life.
I can't tell you I'm sitting outside drinking a cold one. That wouldn't work either. So
sure you can.
All right, I had enough of you. Good night. See you, Spencer.
We will say, Doug Erskine, thanks for updating us on your dad. Great to hear that he's home. The Erskine racing family is an important one in the racing community. All racing people are important ones, but that Erskine family, man, they've produced a lot of racers.
Solid deal. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for being with us.